them too is they have no merchandise. You have Victoria Justice, who you could have made a lot of money off of with merchandise, but people would rather get on the internet and criticize her doll that Nickelodeon put out. I mean, that's all you can put out for Victorious is a doll that has 5 action phrases and sings the theme song of Victorious? Give me a break. The girl has 7 million followers on Facebook. 7 million followers on Facebook and Twitter. And the only thing you can put out, you can't even put out a shirt with Victoria Justice's name on it? Give me a break.
There was so much they could have done with that one. I mean, like Hannah Montana. I mean, they did the right thing. I mean, they simply started out with posters and putting out DVDs with 3, 4, or 5 episodes of Hannah Montana on them. Then what they do? Then that's when you started seeing the Hannah Montana clothing line.
The clothing line was amazing. I knew 2 young girls who were absolutely flabbergasted by the Hannah Montana jackets, and that was actually how I found out about Hannah Montana's character. Actually, long before I knew about the show, I found out about it through the jackets and how much the jackets were selling. The jackets were huge for Hannah Montana, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why, along with the music and the closing line really is what got that show over. Nobody gave a shit about the guitars. Nobody cared about the movies per se. They cared about the music, and they cared about the closing line. And I'll tell you right now, that's what Ashley Tisdale is going to make the most profit off of, is her closing line. Because her name is established, and people idolize her for what she does in the way of promotion. But they don't care about Ashley Tisdale being an actress. They idolize her because of things that she does outside of being an actress. And they're gonna give Ashley Tisdale that recognition through things like the closing line. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if 10 years from now that's all Ashley Tisdale has, because she will earn financially from that and go down in history for that kind of thing. The clothes, the music, that's what establishes somebody. You take the music out of Hannah Montana, you take the music out of High School Musical, and it defeats the purpose of ever doing it. Because that's what made it. That's what got it to where it is, and that's why people are still talking about it, and that's why people will never forget about it. I really believe that.
I hear you where that goes.
It's just a fact. It's just a fact. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's just, they just don't realize it. It's the same kind of thing. The thing is, too, the same kind of logic can apply. They don't realize the potential that goes with their stars, just as the same as WWE don't realize that John Cena is somebody that nobody wants to see. I saw John Cena in 2002. He's not that great of a performer. That was just shortly after he made his debut. I had a chance to see him wrestle in the very first match of the tour. He was the most boring person on the show, and they don't realize that. That's the thing. Take the boring people off the show and put the Ariana Grandes in the position that they deserve to be in and see where it goes. I guarantee you'll make more money off Ariana than you ever would of a Jeanette McCurdy or you ever would have a Miranda Cosgrove. I guarantee you would have made more money off of Emily Osment. Do what you originally were going to do and give Emily the role of being the Hannah Montana character and have Miley the Truscott character. The potentiality of these characters is just frustrating because they have it. It's just nobody wants to give them the recognition for it.
It's sad. It's a sad case because Emily. See, Emily was a veteran. That's the big thing. She was the veteran long before Emily Osment was. We got someone in queue who does want to talk to you, Clarke. And
okay.
This isn't one of your women, but I think you'll enjoy talking to this one.
Okay.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Jonathan. It's Skull.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Well, a few things you were off the mark on. A, there is a crap load of merchandising out there on the ones you were just saying didn't have any, like Victoria Justice. I work in retail currently. After 25 years in Hollywood, I went to retail, and I do know merchandising held as action figures of me. The Nickelodeon does merchandise the hell out of them. And they started that magic formula with the Olsen twins, who made $42 million off Walmart sales with their little clothing line that nobody bought. But they made $42 million, so somebody bought it.
Yeah, the issue is, the underlying issue is the campaign. The campaign is just not promoted as much as what it could be.
They don't need to when they get it in the right store. They don't need to when you get it in the largest retailer in the world, 3,700 stores in the U.S. alone. They sell 10 shirts in a store in a week. That's a hell of a lot of shirts sold. And on your nobody wants to see Cena, I work at a Walmart. The only action figure you can't find, Cena. The only ones you can find, the most boring, overrated sack of crap wrestler in the business, CM Punk. We've got hundreds of his action figure in my store.
I can't believe WWE hasn't pulled those off the shelves yet.
They were already made. It was a contract, and it was somebody outside of WWE. Once the contract's signed, the money's changed hands. CM Punk's lawyers can't get it yanked. He's already gotten his piece of the action.
Of course, yeah.
The thing about John Cena is it's the same repetitive thing over and over.
But the same thing with Hulk Hogan, the same thing with Bruno Sammartino, the same thing with Andre the Giant. None of them could move. None of them were entertaining. They were baby faces. You don't have to be good to be a baby face. This coming from the top villain in roller derby for 25 years. I came out of stand-up comedy.
As a villain.
Right.
You're
I came out of a stand-up comedy background.
Okay.
I worked with Sam Kinison for years. I've been on stage with Robin Williams and Richard Pryor.
Yeah. And it was just unfortunate. That's unfortunate what happened to Robin Williams, too, because he was one of my favorites. Robin Williams was one of my favorites as Genie in Aladdin. And that what happened with him was just totally ridiculous. Totally.
Yeah. Well,
we lost
look, there isn't anybody successful in that business that doesn't have a shitload of demons. Him, Carlin, Cheech and Chong, Pryor. I mean, God, we didn't think there'd be a drug problem nowadays. We thought we'd have to dry up Richard and smoke him.
Thing about, I appreciate your input too. I appreciate your input, Skull. I really do, because diversity is something that really makes the world work.
And the other
really
thing
works
Nickelodeon has over Disney, none of their kids end up in rehab.
Well, yeah, that's something we did talk about.
Everybody out of Disney in the last 20 years has been in rehab.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Emily Osment or Ashley Tisdale going into rehab. I guess they're a couple of the lucky ones.
Yeah, they're the rarities. But, I mean, it goes back to Britney Spears and her meltdown and everybody else out of that whole era.
Oh,
the thing about John Cena is, the thing about John Cena is I just wish John Cena would go away because it's been the same thing now over and over and over again. He wins the title, loses it, wins it back within 3 weeks.
Puts butts in seats. That's the thing. He does put butts in seats. As much as the critics and armchair generals talk about how boring he is, he still puts butts in seats, and that's the bottom line. Technically, CM Punk is a better wrestler. Is he a better entertainer? Hell no. Which is why, as a world champ, he had to stand next to Paul Heyman to get over. I'm sorry. When you're world champ and you're not defending on a pay-per-view, or you're not the main event on a pay-per-view, you're a crap entertainer. That's the bottom line.
Paul Heyman. The thing about CM Punk is, what made CM Punk popular was the fact that CM Punk had the balls to say what nobody else did. And that's the only reason Punk got over. That's the only reason that I liked Punk for as long as what I did, because he said what was what, and he wasn't afraid to do it. I think that if we had more characters like that, we would have a very interesting amount of conversation. I think that when Punk said that, nobody knew what Punk was going to say. But about 6 days after Punk dropped that pipe bomb, as he called it, on the Raw from Vegas, I spoke with the Ring of Honor promoter who he had been mentioned, who Punk mentioned in that promo. And, he just, wiped it off his shoulder. He didn't mind being mentioned in the promo because Kerry Soken did call me. And he mentioned how, he didn't mind being shot on in that promo. And the thing was, nobody knew what Punk was going to say. Nobody knew from the other promotions that he was going to be mentioned. Colt Cabana, who I had the chance to see perform probably about, I think it was last